What's up, guys? How we doing? So hey, Tom from KP here, and today we are going to do another sample essay. So this essay is going to be about this UFO phenomenon that is happening in North America right now. If you have been living under a rock, there have been multiple quote-unquote UFO sightings in the past few weeks. I'm not entirely familiar with the issue, but we're gonna learn a little bit about it today and try to get this done in less than an hour, maybe 45 minutes or so. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So anyway, guys, first thing is I grabbed this article from the New York Times. I just downloaded it real quick so I didn't get hit with their paywall. And essentially, we're just going to start doing some research. So anyway, we've got Cite This For Me pulled up, UFO, North America. All right. But still silent, not entirely true. So this article was put out on the 17th. Good. So that was just recently. All right, cool. The Atlantic Council. Great. Cool. So the Atlantic Council, New York Times, FAA, and Department of Defense. Sources like these are really good because they come straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Cool. All right. So the general consensus is the government's kind of saying, hey, look, we don't entirely know, but don't worry about it. It's not a threat. So that's generally what they're saying. And that is the point we're essentially going to make here. So, okay, cool. I pretty much know what we're going to rock with. So let's go. All right. So UFOs in North America, separating hysteria from, I want to say separating fact from fiction, but that's a little generic. Moving beyond the hysteria. Cool. Conspiracy theories regarding unidentified flying objects, UFOs, have become enmeshed within popular culture. Numerous box office hits portray fictional scenes of alien invasions, foreign adversaries, intergalactic adversaries, and War of the Worlds type of situations playing out, much to the bemusement of their audiences. Naturally, whenever any legitimate phenomenon takes place involving a bona fide, unidentified object in Western airspace, the media commences a blitz of sorts. Airspace. Though the recent sightings of UFOs in North America, let's say the February 2023 sightings of UFOs in North America are indeed cause for concern, all evidence highlights that they are anything but I want to say they're not piloted by them. They're anything but extraordinary. They are anything but extraordinary. All evidence highlights that they are likely not from alien civilizations. All right, cool. though whilst revealing military vulnerabilities. Western. Let's say on decosmic concern and reveal they're highly not originating from alien civilizations. Let's consult our source. February 2023 marked a significant month for those studying UFOs. The United States government publicly announced the interception and destruction of 3 UFOs over U.S. airspace. New York Times. Naturally, conspiracy theories began to explode amongst social networks and news media alike. I like that, okay. While accusations of Chinese spy balloons and little green men began to surface, February 16th marked President Joe Biden diffusing such concerns. Biden stated that, we're going to grab straight from here, they were most likely of commercial origins or perhaps even recreational. Stating that effectively removing any speculation of alien activity. Though the first object that was shot down on February 4th appears to be confirmed to be of Chinese origins, Chinese officials have since stated that it was a malfunctioning weather device, and that 10 such incidents have actually occurred within the past year. While one can certainly argue the legitimacy of some of these claims, highlighting that the government may be withholding information, anything beyond these statements of the White House are pure speculation. Okay, cool. Yet, Sightings such as these do create legitimate cause for concern when regarding Western military capabilities. To say that the public was unsettled by these sightings would be an understatement. Social networks like Twitter were uproariously questioning how such incidents could be allowed to happen. And I'll find a Twitter fact later, but now we're just going to go straight to the Atlantic Council. So, the Atlantic Council brings up the troubling point that the slow response by U.S. and Canadian officials makes the public question their competence and commitment to keeping the homeland safe. Considering that the first intercepted UFO had managed to drift all the way from mainland China to the western United States and remain airborne for days on end. A natural reaction would be to question how such events were allowed to happen. Furthermore, the Atlantic Council brings up the fact that each of these objects likely had some form of clearance as they managed to drift over the airspace of what could possibly be numerous sovereign nations. One is left to wonder if this was pure incompetency on the part of Western militaries, or if there are greater explanations at play involving foreign powers. Unfortunately, understanding what precisely has taken place here, you see I have lots of errors in my spelling, but I always go back and I spit the idea out and then I edit it later. Unfortunately, understanding what precisely has taken place here will require total speculation, and it remains difficult to have an objective, data-based opinion on the origins of these UFOs. As beyond this, understanding their exact role in both foreign relations and domestic airspace remains tenuous as well. All right, cool. Yet, proponents of UFO truth movements remain steadfast in their speculation, in their assumption that any unidentified flying object must be from an alien civilization. Unfortunately for them, there does exist objective data highlighting just how unlikely of a situation this is. So basically what we've done here is our thesis is, okay, though this did happen and it is cause for concern, they're probably not aliens. That's the point we're making here, right? We're not trying to say, we know it's this, we know it's that, because when you're writing a paper, you just don't know a lot of the time, like especially about something like this. So what you do need to do is you need to make an argument that you can prove. And what we can prove is that, sure, they're cause for concern, or rather we can rather seek to persuade. That it does raise some questions about the preparedness of the U.S. military, specifically when you have excellent sources like the Atlantic Council saying, hey guys, this is wrong, like how did this happen? But we can look to some pretty hard data involving like galaxies and whatnot, and just how far away other planetary systems are to say that it's very unlikely that they are aliens. So let's do that now. So nearest galaxies to Milky Way. How far away are alien civilizations? New Scientist. So essentially what I know that basically the idea here is that the next planet or the next galaxy that could be sustaining carbon-based life is so far away that there are certainly probably aliens out there. It's just they're way too far away to get here probably. All right. The chief argument against the notion that alien civilizations have visited Earth is that, unfortunately, they are likely, is that if they do exist, they are likely too far away to realistically arrive at this planet. While pop cultural notions of men on the moon or Martians do rear their way into the argument, objective data can be analyzed, highlighting just how truly difficult it would be for even a highly advanced civilization to traverse the space required to come to Earth. Earth. Okay, so this is highlighting studying a white paper. That's always really good. Okay, they want to make sure I'm not a robot. I might be an alien, but I'm not a robot. Okay, cool. Wenji Song's white paper the number of possible CTIs within our galaxy and the communication probability among these CTIs highlights a phenomenon known as the Drake equation. The Drake equation is utilized to determine just how many other communicating extraterrestrial intelligent civilizations presently exist within our galaxy, though it is estimated that there could be as many as 42,277 cities within the Milky Way, simply to send even the most basic of communicative messages. It would take nearly 400,000 years for the signal to reach Earth. This is not to say that no alien civilizations can exist, which many scientists readily accept. It is, however, to state that if one-way communication, how fast does sound travel? Right, because this is what we're looking for. If one-way communication traveling at what is presumed to be the speed of sound, 760 miles per hour, can take up to 400,000 years to arrive at another SETI, then physical travel of any alien being to Earth is likely entirely impossible based on human understanding of the laws of physics. While it may be novel and entertaining to believe that the February 2023 UFO sightings in the United States involve foreign adversaries, involve galactic adversaries, logic states otherwise. There we go. Okay, cool. So we basically broke this down. So we said that they're likely not a concern. They do reveal Western military vulnerabilities, and that they're likely not from aliens. So first, we highlight what it is, and then we also highlight how they're really not much of a concern. Next, we go and we highlight how they do bring up some unfortunate facts about the potential preparedness of the U.S. military. And then the third one is we highlight how they're likely not aliens. Cool. The notion of alien life is sure to remain an ever-present topic of discussion in today's world. In popular culture, one can estimate that for decades to come, stories about human and alien melodrama will continue to be successful and will illuminate the imagination of people around the world. This, however, should be where the discussion likely stops, And such considerations should not lead into discussions of bona fide UFOs within Western airspace. Okay. While the events of this month do pose some concerns regarding foreign nations, let's call them foreign actors, and the preparedness of Western militaries, the sad fact is that aliens are likely too far away to come to Earth in any capacity. One can only hope that in future weeks, more information is revealed and logic prevails amongst the general public. Boom! All right, cool. There we go. Okay, so that was really great. I liked that a lot. A lot of fun. Now we're going to get into editing. So I always edit straight from Grammarly right in here. You've likely noticed that what I do is I tend to bang through things pretty quick. I like to keep my creative mind rocking while I can. And then I have my editing hat on later. So the first thing I do, I'm very used to using Grammarly. I've used Grammarly thousands upon thousands of times at this point. I can read through these pretty quick. So a lot of the time you'll find that the corrections under correctness are bona fide, especially because I tend to misspell stuff whenever I'm typing fast. This is how I get stuff done. And a little tip for you, if you ever have to, write anything or do creative work, do the fun creative stuff first. Draft it out, get it down on paper, get your ideas there, and worry about editing it afterward. Two very different mindsets. So, and then the occasionally the Microsoft Word version of Grammarly can mess a few things up. I still use it. Okay, cool. So first thing we're going to do here, I love Grammarly, not just for correctness, but also clarity. It will point out instances of passive voice, of unnecessary wording. And again, I just like to have the computer, do a little pass on things before I go in and actually do my, more artistic, in-depth editing that I quite enjoy as well. So here it just says, hey, you can eliminate some of these words. You can make this more clear. You can make it more precise. And then it will highlight passive voice. I have a nasty habit of occasionally using a little passive voice whenever I'm writing. I personally think some instances of it are okay, as long as it's not a ton of it. But I think I have a little bit too much here. But really, it just kind of depends on how you want your essay to read. Once you know the rules, you can begin to break them. And that is kind of what we do here. So, all right, cool. So we've done that. Cool. The first intercepted object. This is not to say, I think I'll keep that. Okay, cool. So all right, cool. All right, cool. So 98 and Grammarly. Always let the computer do a little work before you. Okay, very cool. Within popular culture, to a significant degree. To the amusement of their audiences, numerous box office hits portrayed fictional scenes. Naturally, the media commences a blitz whenever any legitimate phenomenon arises. Though February 20, though the UFO sightings, though the February 2023 UFO, what are they calling it? Incidents. Though the February, yeah, we'll call it incidents. Cause for concern. They're not that are not originating. Okay. For those studying UFOs, the United States government publicly announced the interception and destruction of 3 UFOs over U.S. airspace. Naturally, conspiracy theories began to explode among social networks and news media alike. Diffusing the latter. So he did not diffuse Chinese spy balloons, he did diffuse the latter. Okay, so good old Uncle Joe. Let's cite him. Oh yeah, cool. So we got to create these citations. Okay. Who's our author? Derek Bryson Taylor. My man, Derek. February 17th. Taylor. Okay. Cool, so now we're going to cite the Atlantic Council. Obviously, it's always good to have a variety of sources in your essay. You know, you don't just want to say, hey, I read the New York Times and I'm paraphrasing everything there, ideally you want to come up with a unique, novel argument that is going to, add value to the intellectual space within which you are writing. It's really the goal of academic work and then writing in general, is that you actually contribute something to the further advancement of knowledge in this field. Now, of course, your professor may or may not be expecting that, and Jennifer A. counter, and that's fine. However, if you can incorporate some of that, they'll love it. Only to question Western militaries. Okay, cool. So now we're going to talk about the Drake equation. So that's what you get when you go with us. You get an intellectual discussion about the Drake equation and the Atlantic Council and Western militaries. All good stuff. Great sources. Just terrific, Okay, so journal search failed. We will have to cite this manually then. DUI. IOP science. Man. The Astrophysical Journal. There we go. Okay. That more or less gives me what I need. Publication date, April 4th. Okay. Alright, cool. Good. Okay. Song and Gao. Is that spelled right? Wengie. All right, cool. Okay, so we did our first read through. We have our three sources. That's generally exactly what you're working with a 895 word paper like this. Format our works cited, do that, indent. Make sure our formatting looks all pretty. Okay, another check with Grammarly. Okay, that's a false positive. Remove that. Okay. Moving beyond the hysteria. And then one little thing I like to do. Only in a state of enlightened logic can Western society move beyond the hysteria and get to the bottom of what is get to the bottom of and the origin of these mysterious UFOs, these mysterious flying objects. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to do a final read through here, and then we're going to pack it up. Some conspiracy theories have become enmeshed within popular culture to the amusement of their audiences. Numerous box offices portray fictional scenes, intergalactic adversaries. Space, okay. Against the legitimacy of these claims, highlighting the government may be withholding information. Anything beyond this, the White House is pure speculation, yet citing such as these to create legitimate cause for concern regarding Western military capabilities. Okay, cool. These sightings have proven unsettling to the public. The Atlantic Council brings up a troubling point calling into question Western capabilities. Airspace clearance. a scenario is that if they do exist, they are likely too far away. They are likely. So if they do exist, they are likely too far away to arrive on this planet to visit this planet. While pop cultural notions of men on the moon or Martians certainly influence public discourse, objective data can be analyzed, highlighting just how difficult it would be for even a highly advanced civilization to traverse the space required to come to Earth. M.J. Song's white paper highlights a phenomenon known as the Drake equation. The Drake equation determines how many other communicating extraterrestrial intelligent civilizations exist within our galaxy. Though there may be as many as, it's actually 36. 36 within the Milky Way alone. It would take nearly 400 years for the signal to reach Earth. For even the most basic communicative signal to reach Earth. A fact that many science, an idea, not a fact. It is, however, to state that if one-way communication traveling at what is presumed to be the speed of sound, 760 miles per hour, to arrive at another CETI, then based on the sentence is long, I'm trying to short it. While it may be novel and entertaining to believe that the February 23 logic states otherwise. Cool. The notion of alien life will remain an ever-present topic of discussion. One can estimate that for decades to come, stories about alien and human melodrama will continue to be fiscally successful and will illuminate the imagination of the general public. Entertainment like this, however, should be where the discussion stops, and such considerations should not lead into discussions of bona fide UFOs within Western airspace. To do otherwise is to interject unnecessarily, is to inject, and start to continue tenuous conversations that requires unbiased employment of one's Okay, we can leave that. While this month's events pose some concerns regarding foreign actors and the preparedness of Western militaries, the fact is that aliens are likely too far away to come to Earth in any capacity. One can only hope that further information reveals itself in the coming weeks and that logic will prevail amongst the general public. Only in a state of only in such a state can Western society move beyond the hysteria. Move beyond the hysteria, and then move beyond the hysteria, little thing that holds it together, and get to the bottom of the origin of these mysterious flying objects. Boom. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much the gist of this. I'm likely going to do another edit and another read-through, because I like to be very thorough like that, but that about wraps up pretty much Yeah, that about wraps up what we do here. This is just to give you an idea of how you can essentially employ us to write about something that, even if we're not entirely familiar with, we can learn pretty quick and then develop a good argument around. So this should just give you a little window into A, our research project, B, the actual compositional process, and then C, the painstaking effort we go through to make sure that everything is as perfect as it can possibly be. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you are interested in working with me, please feel free to request me on the site. My name is Tom, and I would love to work with you and deliver the same level of quality that I put into this into any work that you may have. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope to be seeing you soon. Later.